Right, let's talk about Aston Villa's transfer window. We recently did a video of the best transfers in the Premier League, and Rory forgot about Youri Tielemans. Absolutely embarrassing, if you ask me. Tielemans on a free. Pau Torres, Moussa, Diaby.
Liverpool blow to the jaw.
It's unbelievable. Diaby obviously rejected a move to Saudi Arabia, an incredibly exciting winger from the Bundesliga. Rory knows all about that. Let's be completely real. Even Diego Carlos, he's coming back from injury. He's a new signing. City wanted him. He's a top-level centre-half from Seville, and he's basically a new signing. Obviously, had a year in the medical bay for Aston Villa. It's 5 or 6 elite signings.
Yeah, they're a brilliant team.
Yeah.
And I think that they've got one of the best managers in the league. And I believe, bearing in mind it's top 5 now to qualify for the Champions League, I believe Aston Villa will qualify for the Champions League. I really
Over
do.
who?
Well, I think they'll finish in the top 5.
Over who?
When you say over who, I don't know who you.
The other
who
teams
you
that are
think.
vying for the 5th and 4th spots.
So who do you now want me to talk about? Who I think will win? I think City will win the league. I think
City.
Liverpool will finish second.
Yeah.
I think Arsenal will definitely make it. Manchester United will get there.
And Villa.
So Newcastle, I guess, is what you're saying.
Yeah, interesting. But yeah, fair enough. I mean, Pau Torres is the big one for me. Centre-half, 33 million quid. Obviously smashed Man United in the Europa League final when they beat them. And he's a big international for Spain as well. What a centre-half. Ball-playing centre-back.
Yeah, it's exactly what they need. I think that they are doing some incredible business. They're so ambitious, aren't they? I think they've got one of the richest families in Egypt. They've smashed their transfer record on Diaby. And this is exactly what they need. You know, direct, aggressive wingers. This is very impressive from them. And I think that they are going to be troublesome for everyone.
Yeah.
Like they're going to cause a lot of people a lot of heartache. Because what sets them apart, you know, they've spent a lot of money. They've outspent Newcastle, haven't they? You know, when you think about the riches of Newcastle, Newcastle have the constraints, but you know, it's very impressive the way that Villa have gone about their business. And the fact now that they have this team, but they juxtapose this team with Unai Emery, who is, for me, third best manager in the league, it sets them apart. You know, everybody vying for the top 5. I don't think anybody else whose position in the top 5 is in jeopardy has a manager comparable to Unai Emery. Like, they're in Europe. Also, remember that European Cup he's in? He's in the Conference League. So he wins that in his sleep. You've got to think he retained the Europa League.
4, wasn't it? 4 in a row?
Was it
3 in a row?
Definitely
4 and 5,
definitely 3 in a row, yeah.
Yeah.
But mate, imagine him in the Conference League.
With Pau Torres, who he won
He'd be having a
Villarreal.
cigar. He'd be having a cigar on a touchline. He'll win that one in his sleep.
100%. Yeah.
So I expect Aston Villa to have a really, really strong season.
Tielemans.
Great signing, isn't it? Great. Well, when you
He
think
started for City ahead of Kovacic. He might be on his day. I mean, he had a bad season last season. Everyone did at Leicester City. He's
when
a
you think-
top player.
you know, a couple of years ago when he wouldn't sign that deal at Leicester, he was talking about going into a team in the Champions League. He was talking about going to Arsenal. At the time. And then obviously, I don't know if he'll. How do you think he'll feel about that? Do you think Tielemans will be happy with his move to Villa?
Yeah, I think if it was a Gerrard move, he's a bit. But I think he's
Going there
looking
to
at
play with
Unai Emery
and the signings.
He also got a bit the short end of the draw even because of Leicester City's form last season. He got relegated. So what can you say? You can't pick or choose. Same with James Maddison.
No, but I just mean, do you see it on a? Do you see him? Do you think Tielemans is a bit gutted?
I think you'll see it. All right. I struggled with Leicester City. I probably didn't perform at the right stages last season. Give it a couple of years at Villa, then I'll go to Barcelona. Potentially. That kind of club.
Tielemans on a free. If we're factoring in finances and all that, Tielemans on a free is actually one of the best signings.
60, 70 million quid midfielder. If he had a 3-year contract at Leicester and they're in the league, they're demanding, he demanded for Fofana 80 million quid from you lot. He had one good season.
Yeah, Tielemans reached a level higher than that.
He scored a fantastic goal against you lot in the FA Cup final, didn't he?
Yeah,
he's a serious footballer. Yeah. He's mad good.
He's so good.
I can't believe you left him out your list, top 5. I can't believe it.
How good do you think Aston Villa will be next year? Do you feel like I've gone a bit too far? I think they'll make the Champions League.
Newcastle are a little bit more ahead for me because of Isaac, because of Bruno. I think they're almost world-class talents. And I think Villa have had to be a little bit less.
Part of the reason I think it, by the way, is because I think the arduous nature of the Champions League is going to have an impact on Newcastle's domestic.
It might do. Yeah, it might do.
Do you think Aston Villa finish top 5? Do you think they make Champions League football?
No, I think they'll come 6th. I think they'll come sixth, and one of the big boys will take the fifth spot. It usually happens that way. I think Newcastle were a bit of an anomaly, and I'm sure they'll stay in it. Diego Carlos is a big one. I've said this a few times, but City wanted him ahead of Ruben Diaz, and they couldn't get the deal done. Same with Jules Koundé, who went to Barcelona. So, Ruben Diaz was kind of behind Carlos in the pecking order for City's scouting network.
What, when you signed...
Ruben Diaz, COVID, the kind of end of COVID, 2021. Diego Carlos was first choice, couldn't agree a fee. Ruben Diaz came in and was amazing, of course.
So their centre-half partnership is now top class, isn't it?
It's Diego Carlos and Pau Torres.
Being backed up by Tyrone Mings.
Somehow, you'll be looking around. How have we got here? How have we got here? He was from Bournemouth, wasn't he, in the Championship and all that. So yeah, look, I think Diaby's a big one as well. They've navigated a Saudi Arabia bit of money as well. The big offer from Saudi Arabia, and he's chosen Aston Villa over them. Let's be real, Aston Villa are a bigger club than Newcastle Football Club. They got far more significance. They deserve to be where they are.
I got quite a lot of stick recently, Booth, and I wouldn't mind your thoughts on it. I said that Unai Emery is a better manager than Mikel Arteta. And I really don't even think it's controversial, but a lot of people were sniping at me for that. Where do you sit on that debate?
He is. He's won silverware at the highest level.
What about today, though? I'll argue the other way, okay? What people were saying to me on Twitter, they were saying, but as of now, a lot of that is historic stuff. And Arsenal were a bigger club than Villa.
Yeah.
The Arteta is at Arsenal, therefore, they were saying that maybe Unai Emery is limited at bigger clubs when he's had the opportunity at big clubs, perhaps
PSG, I think the Arteta project's more exciting. It looks more interesting. It's obviously a far bigger club, and he's working with world-class young talents. Villa's more of a utility job, and Villa's it's more of a scrappy upstart vibe as opposed to Arsenal. They want to be winning the Premier League. Aston Villa aren't really looking at that kind of situation. As of today, if Team X came in, if Team Al Nazir came in and said, please win us some football matches in the Club World Cup, they'd hire Unai Emery. They wouldn't hire Mikel Arteta. Well, they wouldn't. That's the reality. Yeah. What?
You're so funny. If Al Nazir came in,
you know what I mean? Team X, just randomly Team X, got a bit of money. They'd rather take Unai Emery because he's got that experience. He's done it against Man United in the Europa League final. Arteta lost big games.